Good morning, everybody. Michael McGinnis here. Hey, today's topic, overcoming our past. So often I wander these paths, as you see right here, and really as I find I meditate and reflect a lot upon life. And very often today, the great news is how far I've come, and yet still the work that I need to do. But many of us have had difficult pasts. I mean, it's the nature of life when you come to think of it, but let's put that all aside for a second and just confront the fact that if you had a difficult life, whatever it may have entailed, abuse, anger, rape, anything, being told bad things, negative things, we've all had them to some degree. And what they do, particularly at a young, impressionable age, is they begin to form unhealthy beliefs deep within our conscious and subconscious, particularly. And it's there that we develop these beliefs that all sort of relate to something related to I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, I'll never be good enough. And those are all the translations of the negative experiences and how we internalize them. Well, as we've talked about in many of the videos, those play havoc with our life, right? It's our behaviors, our beliefs that drive our behaviors, that drive our consequences, the ABC model, right? And then that's that continual self-fulfilling prophecy, the negative patterns we have in our life. So how do you really break them? Well, let's deal with it right up front. Right? Rather than give all of this nice prose and poetry to things that you could really do, you got to first really be able to confront that at some point. I denied that for many years. People asked me about the past, and I had a great story about my past, because I was in denial. I didn't want to deal with the truth of what happened. It came several years later when I did. And it was finally at that point where I was in a setting working with a professional counselor, of which she asked questions, and slowly but surely they dug deep, and they got to that point of where I confronted, and that's a key word, I confronted what really happened. And that's that first phase. You've got to really just be able to confront it. We could be in denial, we can avoid it, we can push away those topics, but we ought to ultimately confront it. And then with confronting, the next step is to be able to just accept that it happened, right? We don't like that. We didn't want to have that happen. All those things. So we want to first confront it and then accept, and then we've got to really be able to deal with it, right? And that's the hard part, and that's so often where a professional comes in, because we need that guidance from somebody who's trained to help us work through this very emotional process. It could be feeling like a volcano within that begins to erupt as we really begin to confront and accept what really happened. And then from that, you begin to work through the counseling and the therapy and the dealing with it, the acceptance, and ultimately you move in to that stage of acceptance. Okay, I accept that it happened, and now I've got to be able to let it go. And that's the process of healing. It takes a while. It's not overnight. It could be for some people, but typically it's not. And it's that progression. And then when we get there, then it's great to have support groups, those that have experienced similar things. For me, I attended a lot of 12-step groups, mostly associated with Alcoholics Anonymous. I wasn't dealing personally with alcohol, but they had great groups associated with that. Adult Children of Alcoholics, Codependence Anonymous, and they all use that 12-step framework. It's awesome. It's really amazing, and it really gives you a structure and camaraderie and a group around you that you can very often form lifelong friends with, new friends with, because they can relate to your situation. Well, that's just a part of the healing. Then you'll utilize the many tools for discovery as I described them, the therapy, the journaling, the affirmations, all those things to begin to start the healing process and reprogramming those unhealthy beliefs into positive beliefs. So if you've been there, hats off to you. I love you. And ultimately, you may come to know a point of growth, which is what I refer to as enlightenment, where you may even say, I was gifted to have that experience, because now it's opened my eyes to what life is about, and now how I can be who I am. A powerful step in the process. Not worry about that. That's graduate level work. But at the same time, that's the hope, right? That's the things that come from being able to recognize and then deal with our past, particularly if they've been difficult pasts. God bless you. Love you all. Have a great day. Bye.